Hello, today we're going to be talking about how you can reuse this sample with your own data. On the left hand side here you can see we've got an event scroll collection. This is the collection that represents the events, as you can see in these little circle events here. We have a years group that represents the dates along the bottom. We then have a slider indicator with this little indicator here that you can move left to right, and that will move this event scroll collection left to right. There are two things that you'll probably see in this experience, which are the two Excel sheets, which are the timeline event sheet, which are all of the events within this sheet. We then have a settings sheet. You'll notice in the event scroll collection within the circle data template, there are some properties already bound to the two sheets. The X and Y are bound to the timeline events, X and Y columns. The width and height are bound to the settings width and height columns. Now, from this existing data in the timeline events, I'm now going to create my own custom data with my own years and events. But before I do that, I'm just going to explain this blank row here that you see here is representing the space between a given year. So for example, between 1589 and 1591, we have this slot here, which is 1590. There is no event occurring in this year, so I have to create a blank row with the event name blank to represent a blank space between each event. Now I'm just going to fast forward and input my custom data. At the moment, I've only added 12 rows. So from this, once you've inputted your information, you want to remove the X and Y coordinates that are already here, because we're going to regenerate that in a moment in the settings sheet. One thing to take note of is the amount of rows that you've got available within your data. In my example, I've got 12 rows. If I go to the settings sheet, I'm now going to input the years that are displayed along the bottom within the years group within the experience. So now my first starting date is 1970. My second date is 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. Now, at the moment, I just have a 10-year difference between the years. So I'm just going to change the max year to 2020. This will recalculate the X coordinate that will be displayed along the bottom. So the years are equally spaced based on the duration of the years. We don't need to change the max pixel count. We don't need to change the total years. We can keep the width and height and the starting positions because we're not going to change any of the design features that are currently in the example. I'm going to delete the previous X and Y coordinates because our data has changed. From there, I'm going to select our X coordinate, drag down 12 times to row 13, remember excluding the header. I'm going to do the same for the Y coordinate. From there, we need to make sure that we're copying both of the values within both columns by pressing Ctrl C. Then go to the timeline sheet, making sure that you right click, paste as values. This is a crucial part because this sheet is being used within the event scroll collection. The formula is not supported, so we have to paste as values here. From there, we can then press close, save. We wait a couple of seconds and then the sample will update with our new data. There we go. And as you can see, we've got the dates equally spaced down the bottom. We can now run this sample. As you can see, I can move the slider from left to right, If I select 1990, you'll see 1990 will be in the viewport. If I select 2010, you'll see that's 2010. I can then click through to an event, such as 2000. I can then go back. You'll notice here, when you have 3 events occurring in the same year, you will only be able to have 3 stacked on top of each other. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video useful on how to reuse this sample of your own data.